So this is a video about migraine associated vertigo. If you don't have migraine associated vertigo, then there's no point watching it. So click off and I'll upload something later that'll be more fun that you can watch. I'm Scottish and I talk very fast, so bear with me, and if there's anything that you don't understand, feel free to ask in the comments and I'll reply. I didn't really want to make this video at all. I only made it because I felt quite bad about the fact that, you know, something I've dealt with most of my adult life. And yeah, I feel quite guilty as there was such little information on this on the internet when I was researching it, and people were always looking for a cure for it, that I kind of felt that I had to share my experience and share how I overcame migraine associated vertigo. And yeah, it was difficult to say the least, and it took a long time. And again, the most important thing is, do not celebrate too soon. If you feel that you're getting better, you do not rush back into your old life. You can't live your old life, not for a long time. I mean, I almost can now, but I still have to avoid so many things. It's ridiculous. I have to avoid, to a certain extent, supermarkets. Not all of them, but, and I can go on them now, but previously I could go on them for a few minutes before I get really bad vertigo, and these days I can go on them for ages. And yeah, I still do old tricks like make sure I always have a trolley so I feel secure, so if I get vertigo, then, you know, I feel safe. But if I didn't do these little tricks, would I still not have vertigo? Would I still have went years and years without vertigo? Probably not. I mean, a lot of it is anxiety and stress as well. I mean, I could bring on my own vertigo with anxiety and stress. And yeah, so I would definitely, you know, if things are working for you, keep doing that. But always avoid your triggers. So for me, I guess it kind of started when I was really young. And but I'll skip ahead to when it got really bad, which is probably when I was about 19. I was trying to study college and I couldn't do it. Something was wrong, something was off. I had to keep going home, and I tried multiple different courses, and I tried university. Something would be wrong and I'd have to leave the class. The lecturers would be furious and hate me because I walked out of the class, and you know, they would never understand what was wrong. I couldn't explain what was wrong because I didn't know. And you know, I went to numerous doctors. Doctors couldn't tell me what was wrong. And after years and years and years of numerous jobs and numerous failed courses because I couldn't be in the room, I was diagnosed with Meniere's disease. I took medication for that for years. I didn't have Meniere's disease. And eventually I was diagnosed with migraine associated vertigo. Now, I think this first started to get really bad when I was 23, but once I turned 26, it was almost daily. Almost daily. And that went on for years and years. I became a sailor. I worked for the MOD. I would wander about the ship. I would hold onto the walls and stuff, and I would kind of, if I was at like a desk space where I'd have to work, I would lean my legs against the desk so my hands were free, so my brain would know where there was, you know, a wall, so I could gauge better where the floor is, where I am, and so on. And this was basically daily life for a long time. If I would walk down the street, I would always walk close to walls. I'd focus on objects if I have to cross a path where there's not a wall, so I'd focus and make a beeline to the object, and then focus on another object and go to that, and so on. It's pretty mad. And I guess eventually what happened was, let's see, well, when I was in my 30s, I guess, I had a realization when I was in my 30s where I was in a shopping center called Union Square, and I always got really bad vertigo every single time I went into the supermarkets, airports, and you know, or shops. And for some reason, I'd be fine in the shopping center, but not in the shops. So I was walking into the shop one day, and I thought to myself, I'm gonna have terrible vertigo as soon as I walk in. I knew I would, but I didn't know why. So I stopped for a second to gather myself before I would go in. And I would, you know, and my thoughts were really usual. I'd walk as close to the clothes rails as I could, so I'm brushing up against them and stuff, so as I know where that is, so I can gauge where the floor is. But I knew as soon as I walked in, the floor was going to start bouncing up and down, the world's going to be spinning and stuff, as well as basically daily life for me for God knows how many years. And well, my entire adult life almost up until the last couple of years ago. And so I stopped before I went to the shop, and I looked up, and I saw a glass ceiling. And I thought, wow, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the light, because I'm fine here, but not in there. And that was like a huge turning point, was realizing that lights bothered me massively. Now, I already knew that crowds bothered me, lots of motion bothered me, movement bothered me, cars moving past me quickly bothered me, you know, and so yeah, so that was a huge turning point. So I knew it was the lights, and as soon as I realized it was the fluorescent lights, for years after that, I would notice my vertigo kicking in and I would see a fluorescent light right next to me. And that was a massive turning point. So I guess a huge thing is avoid fluorescent lights. They're a nightmare. They are not your friend. Now, in this country, by law, if you ask your employer, they have to make like suitable adjustments, which means you can ask for a daylight bulb to be put in place of that fluorescent light, and they have to do it. Now, if you're in a country where that's not the case, then I would highly suggest that you do it yourself. Buy some daylight bulbs, sort them bulbs out so you can carry on at your workplace. If you're not allowed to, then unfortunately the only thing you can do is look for another job. It's not great, but you have to make changes. Now, on this forum I was looking at on Facebook, I've joined so many vertigo forums. Now, when I first started having vertigo, there was nothing on the internet. It was so long ago, there was nothing on the internet at all whatsoever. I mean, in 2004, 2005, 2006, if you Googled vertigo and so on, I would come up with nothing. But the internet's come on in leaps and bounds these days. And I don't really want to make this video because I don't like to live in the past. I like to kind of live in the future or the present. Oh, not live in the future. Live in the present. Look towards the future. But yeah, I would feel really guilty having had this experience and not share how I overcame it. So I'm gonna share it. So yeah. So basically, it's not a quick fix. It's not a miracle cure. Now, when I look at these forums, everybody's doing the exact same things that I did for years and years, which is going to the doctors and asking for different medications, looking at forums, looking at other people's medications they're taking, and so on and so on. And every time I speak to my doctor, he would say, listen, these are all the same medications, just with different names, they do the same thing, none of them are working for you, but I'll give you it anyway. And I'd be like, okay, then I would take it, and then, you know, eventually I just stopped taking it, because it didn't work. It never worked. If there was a miracle cure that worked for us, then we would all be taking it, but there isn't. Now, by chance, I moved to a small town, and it's a very quiet little small town, which is, it's nice. And luckily for me, I took a job very close to where I live. Now, there's actually a little forest behind my house. It leads straight to a performing arts centre in which I work. So that's been very, very handy. And the lighting, well, it's a theatre, so it's darkly lit. So for the last 2 years, I've been in this amazing place where I can actually go to work, but avoid all my triggers and be in a dark environment. And yeah, and basically, before I moved here, my doctor told me one thing. The thing he told me was he said, after years and years and years, he finally said to me, if you can avoid all your triggers, if you can avoid them all for ages and ages, at some point your brain will get a chance to reset, and then everything will be fine. And I listened to him, and yeah, I think that's the best advice I'd ever had. And because before I didn't think I could avoid them, because I didn't see how in life you can avoid being in the city centre, how you can avoid these lights at work and stuff. And then eventually I was like, well, actually I realized you can, you know, you have to make changes. Like, this life changes, not a miracle cure. So, you know, I moved to a small town. It's a quiet, sleepy town. I'm working in a quiet, sleepy place. Now, I'm going to leave there soon because I feel much better. And I feel like I have so much more options now that's ridiculous. You know, I feel like I can work anywhere apart from, obviously, places with an insane amount of fluorescent lights. But in my youth, you know, I studied so many different college courses and uni courses and stuff, and I always had to drop out because the lights were killing me. You know, I couldn't be in the room that long. My vertigo would kick in, I'd have to leave. The lecturers would be angry and stuff, they would understand. I couldn't explain it because I didn't know what was wrong. And yeah, so I just stopped doing it. And then, after years and years of failed courses and having to quit jobs because of the vertigo and because of the lights and not understanding it, eventually I can now function properly. I after God knows how many failed courses, I did a course about a year ago. I did an HNC in actually video production. And yeah, the lights didn't bother me once. After years and years and years of not being able to do a single course because of the lights. And I tried so many times because obviously I want to make something of my life. But I just couldn't get through the day being in that kind of lighting. But just through avoidance of all my triggers, I can do it now. And now that I've done that, and now that I've had, well, it's actually 2.5 years of no vertigo, you know, I'm comfortable. And I think the trick is not to celebrate too soon. If you celebrate too soon, you know, if you go 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I used to do this all the time, you know, because like I used to have vertigo almost every day, sometimes constantly every day for months. And if you celebrate too soon, it's a huge mistake. So I used to go 2, 3, 4 weeks without vertigo, if I was lucky, and it was very few and far between. And I would think, oh my God, I'm cured, it's gone. Like my vertigo's gone, I'm back to normal, like I live a normal life. And I would go back to my old life and just like live like I did before. And by not changing, it would just come straight back. Because I didn't know what was wrong. I didn't know what was bothering me. I didn't know what I had to avoid. And basically, you have to listen to your body. If you're starting to feel anxious, it's probably your subconscious telling you, well, I think it is, things are about to go down. Because you always feel a little bit anxious before your vertigo kicks in. You know it. You know, there is a tell there. Get out of there. It doesn't matter where it is. If it's a concert, if you're in a place with your friends, a restaurant, whatever, go, get out. You have to get out. Avoid everything for as long as you can. If your work is giving you bad vertigo, leave the job, leave for another job. You know, yeah, it's not easy, and especially as some of you will have kids and, you know, mortgages like everybody, you know, but you just have to find a way to get out of it, you know. And I mean, I've given this feedback before to people, and they were like, oh, well, I can't just give up my job, I can't just do this, I can't just do that. And it's like, well, you either live with vertigo forever and constantly look for this medical cure and look for this medical medication, or you just make the adjustments, which have worked for me, you know. And let's be honest, my vertigo, I'm 38. I've had vertigo. It's been really bad since I was 24, daily for years, well, for a decade, since I was 26, well, almost a decade. Now, if my vertigo was that bad and I can overcome it, I mean, I literally had to follow walls to get to where I was going. I would carry an umbrella that was a walking umbrella, I had a cane, so I could use it as a walking stick if my vertigo got too bad. I would tap on walls so I knew where the wall was and stuff. Whenever I would go anywhere, you know, I didn't feel safe being outside without it for the longest period of time because, you know, the ground would start bouncing up and down, the world would start going mad. I had to have a way of knowing where the floor was so I know where to put my feet. You know, I would have to embarrass myself phoning my friends or my brother and saying, hey, I'm in this place, my vertigo is really bad. You know, there's a large open space that I can't get across. I'm not comfortable, come help me, which is embarrassing as hell. People can't live like that. So, which is why I'm making this video, because, like I said, I would feel terrible if I didn't share to help others, because there is thousands of people looking for a way around this, and it's worked for me. I don't think there's a miracle cure. I think it's just avoidance. I think my daughter's advice was the best ever. Avoid everything. And I appreciate, I was really, really lucky where I found myself in a situation where I accidentally went to a small town and got a job very close to my house, and basically I just couldn't be bothered going into the city for ages. Now maybe 3 times max in the last couple of years I've almost had vertigo. And what I've done is, and this is, it's basically I felt it coming on, and I've done what I did before when I was younger, which was I went to the nearest pub. And people will judge you when it comes to alcohol, and it can be your worst enemy or your best friend when it comes to vertigo, because if you're not medicating with things that your doctor giving you, and if you have nothing strong enough, and I don't think there is anything strong enough to deal with it, and alcohol will help you, then my God, if you feel, come on, go have a couple of drinks. You know, as long as you have nothing to do the next day, because hangovers will make your vertigo worse, do it. Do anything you can to avoid your vertigo. Don't care about people judging you. Do it, because avoidance is basically the only way that I found to get better. And not that I am better, it's life's pretty amazing. You know, when I first realized that I was vertigo free, or almost a bit vertigo free, well, I am to a certain extent, but it could come back. But with my lifestyle, it hasn't. And it's a case of just a lifestyle change. And just being aware, listening to your body, and, you know, not celebrating too fast. It took me, God, what, 2.5 years now, where I think I can now go on and do whatever I want. You know, I'm comfortable enough to put myself in situations that before would give me vertigo. It's not a quick fix. So, yeah, don't celebrate too soon. That's the biggest mistake. And, yeah, avoid the triggers as much as you can. Just avoid them like the plague. And, that's pretty much it. Huge lifestyle changes. I had to change my entire life, my whole entire life. And, it worked for me. Sorry if it's not what you want to hear. I realise that it's a massive challenge to change everything that you do. But good luck, and if you think this video will help anybody, feel free to share it. Thanks. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing as well, which was Asian food. MSGs in Asian food, like Asian takeaways and stuff, or if you go to a restaurant with Asian food, a big no-no. Like, that is always a massive killer. I used to think it was the lights until I had an Asian takeaway and I had a vertigo in my own house, which for me would happen few and far between. And yeah, Asian food, avoid that. If you love Asian food, do what I did. Learn to cook it yourself. Learn to cook it in your house. I am a demon with a wok. Seriously. Do not get Asian takeaway.